Hi and welcome to Skein Studio. My name is Kristen. Oops, that's my cat. This is Riku, who's coming to say hello too. I'm also known as K10 on Ravelry and Skein Yarns pretty much everywhere else. Oh, Riku! She's messed up my intro, I don't know where I am. Yes, so hello Skein Studio, blah blah blah. It's been a long time since I spoke to you guys. I think the last podcast was in... wow, November the 19th, so it's been months. We're now the 2nd of March. Basically, yeah, I got really busy. Christmas came up really quick. I had time off. We went away for Christmas. We had people over in the new year. Then it was back at work and I just have been so busy. So I've changed things around at work too, so I'm on a different sort of schedule. Which means that my usual podcasting days are sort of changed. But anyway, I'm hoping now that I'm sort of back into the swing of things, I can podcast regularly. But it's going to be a really busy year. There's lots going on this year. The business is doing really well, which is fantastic, but it means that most of my time I spend in the studio dying. But yes, hopefully I can make this a regular thing, probably every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. But anyway, we'll see how we go. I haven't pod faded, I'm still here. I'll just mention too, we've got construction going on just across the way. There's townhouses being built, so it's going to be a little bit noisy. I'm hoping they might break soon for morning tea, but we'll see. Anyway, I hope you're all well, and yeah, I hope you had a really nice Christmas and New Year's and everything, and yeah, I'm just really sorry I left it so long. Like I said, just, you know, life and work and things just get busy. Okay, I just wanted to mention two things before I get into it. I have a sweater knit along going over on the Skein group. It's a Skein knit along, so if you have enough yarn for a sweater and of Skein yarn and you want to knit a sweater out of it, come on over and join us. It started yesterday, so 1st of March, and it goes for 2 months, so there's plenty of time. I'm also going to be hosting a shawl knit along. That'll start in 2 weeks. So if you have Skein yarn and you'd like to knit a shawl out of it, come on over to the group and join us. And if you haven't already, come on over to the group and say hi. It'd be nice to see you. So I have lots and lots of things to show you. Pretty much my New Year's resolution for knitting this year is just to have fun with it. I think last year I got so kind of involved with trying to come up with designs. I was busy with work. It just kind of killed my knitting mojo. I just kind of felt pressure, and I just don't want that this year. I just want to enjoy the designs. There's so many wonderful designs that are out there. You know, just as soon as one catches my eye, get some yarn, cast on, and just enjoy it. And if I come up with a design, you know, so that's great, but I'm not going to push myself. But yes, I have had the best start to the year ever. And I'll show you. So these are all the things I've finished. We had a Japanese knit along last year. Was it last year or was it this year? I think it was this year. It's already been and gone, sorry. But it was on the group and the Skein group, and it was doing a pattern. You probably know because I've spoken about this on the podcast before. It was knitting a pattern from a Japanese craft book. Oh, and I didn't bring the bloody book. Anyway, I'll link it in the show notes. Yes, so using Japanese pattern, which is all charted. It's different to the way English patterns are written, so it is quite difficult, and you also have to know a few Japanese characters, but there's like so much information on the internet that, yeah, it's easy to follow. Anyway, so I found a pattern that I liked, and it's a simple shrug. This is it here. So that's it. And this is by Mariko Oka, and it's really simple. It's just basically a rectangle that you knit and then you join the sleeves together, and then you knit the rest of it together. That's a really terrible explanation, but yeah, it's just knit back and forth, and then you join them up together, the two sleeves, and then you knit in the round for the rest of the body. Very, very simple, and yeah, really enjoyable. I used skein yarn. I'm pretty sure this is merino MCN, so merino cashmere nylon, and I used the colours Rustic and Sherbet Fizz, so the kind of browny orange is Rustic and this colour here is Sherbet Fizz, because I saw them together when I was in the studio and I really liked them, but they're not really my colours. I'm not sort of a, this is kind of more of an autumnal sort of colour combination. My mum suits this kind of colour. She suits sort of autumnal colours, so this is going to my mum, and I'm going to be seeing her this weekend. So it was lucky that I podcasted and I could show you. So that's the first one. The second thing that I finished is a very long-term project that I don't even, oh well, I suppose I cast this on probably, it'd be over a year ago now, and it was just before we moved house, and then I had to move the business and I got busy and blah 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 blah, so it sort of sat on the needles for a long time. But this is the Hohi Locatelli design called Japan sleeves, and it's called Japan sleeves because the sleeves have the lace pattern, Japan lace. Yeah, Japanese lace pattern on the sleeves. It's morning, I've only had one cup of coffee, I'm sort of a bit rah. But anyway, I really enjoyed this. I'm not going to put it on, it's just too hot here to put anything on, like a jumper. I'll probably die as soon as I put it on, but I do actually have photos that I took with this on, and I will put them in the show notes. Such a nice knit, like honestly, it's really quick, and I know it took me ages, but that was sort of more of a life thing rather than a knitting thing. The thing that takes a lot of time is the lace pattern, because what you do, it's really, Hohi's patterns are just wonderful. They're just constructed, their construction is just really unique, and I really enjoy knitting her patterns because of that. But basically what you do is you're knitting these lace panels first, so you knit them both separately, and then you actually pick up stitches along it, and then you join them together. It's just really interesting design. I used merino cashmere fingering. This is a non-superwash, so it has to be hand washed, but it's so soft. I love any yarn with cashmere, I think all of us do. And the colourways, the kind of greeny colour is called Rye, and then the pink is called Tickle Pink. And yes, I can't wait to wear this in winter. It's actually the first day of autumn here in Australia yesterday, so we're heading into our colder months, although it doesn't get that cold here in the subtropics, but it does get cold enough to wear this, and that's about it. So that was the second one, and then for Valentine's Day, I cast on a couple of pairs of slippers, one pair for Paul, one for me, and I used the Simple House Socks by Simone A. It's a free pattern, and that's it there. That's one. That's Paul's one, and this is my one. They're so cute. They're just so easy to make. I used worsted, skein worsted, and what I did is if you're only knitting one pair, you only use one skein, and you don't even use the whole skein. Like for a woman's size, pair of slippers, you wouldn't use a whole skein. But what I wanted to do was stripe them, so I asked Paul to pick a colour and he chose the red, and then I chose the grey, which is called Jersey, and I swapped the two. So I striped them. So I used the red for him and then I alternated it and used the Jersey grey for me. And they turned out so nicely. They fit really well. The pattern is in one size only. I think you cast on 40 stitches and then you actually do this garter stitch side by side, what do you call it, sideways knitting. So it's like you just keep knitting, garter stitch, and then when you get to a certain length then you attach it together here. So you put your needles together and attach it in the round, and then you work the foot in the round. Very, very simple. I had to actually add 4 stitches for Paul because his feet are obviously they're a lot wider than my feet, but that was fine. And then you just start decreasing for the toe when you get to about 2 inches, just like socks. When you get to about 2 inches from the toe, you just do a decrease, and it's a cute little circular decrease, like the top of a hat. And yeah, it's really, really nice. So that's those, and I will be knitting more of these to give away as presents. I think they're fantastic. So that was Simple House Socks by Simone A. And again, all of these things I'll be linking in the show notes. Finally, I cast on, oh, it wasn't that long ago, a jumper. It's called Sibella by Kerry Bostic Hodge, and it is this one. So it's basically a bottom up sweater, so you obviously cast on at the ribbing and knit up. You do the sleeves separately and then join them, and then you work a circular yoke. And it was the quickest pattern, honestly. I knit this in under, it was under 3 weeks. It just went so quickly. I knit this out of sport, so this is Skein Meadow, and it's our non-superwash yarn. So again, it has to be hand washed, but it's so soft. It's just a merino, and yeah, it was great in the Jersey colorway. And funnily enough, this yarn is very interesting because it's non-superwash and it has quite a lot of lanolin in it, and it makes colours do weird things. First of all, it doesn't dye as strongly as a superwash yarn, which is common for non-superwash because it doesn't have the chemicals in there. And also the lanolin, I try and get all the lanolin out before I dye it, but there's always a little bit that's left in there. So that sort of repels the dye, so things dye up a lot softer. But this is Jersey, this colour here, and this is Jersey. So I don't know if you can see, probably not, but it's actually turned blue. So it's some sort of chemical reaction that's occurred with the wool, and it's, yeah, completely different colour. And I used exactly the same dyes. When I dyed it, I thought, oh, something's happened there, I've put the wrong colour in. So I did another batch and it came out exactly the same. So it's just something to do with the yarn that causes the colour to turn more of a blue grey than a warm brown grey. It's just interesting. So yeah, very, very nice, and I love the yoke. It's just a very simple lace pattern, easy to memorise. You do your yoke decreases in between the lace sections where these kind of garter stitch sections are, and it fits beautifully. The only thing is I probably should have made it a little bit longer. I do like my jumpers to hit high hip, and I made the body for this about 13 inches, but I think I should have probably added another 1 or 2 inches, just because it does sit quite high, but yeah, it's alright. It's still very wearable. So that's all my finished objects. So yes, I've been busy and I've been enjoying it. I've been really enjoying my knitting. I'm just so glad I've just decided to just go with the flow and not stress about things. Works in progress. I've got 2 things on the needles, and that's another thing actually. I haven't been casting on a lot of stuff. I've been just finishing what I've already got on my needles, whereas before I used to cast on heaps of things and then I'd sort of forget about something. But anyway, I've been finishing it and it's great. So works in progress. Sorry, they're on the floor. I've got like a table full of stuff and then things on the floor. Alright. This is The Great Divide Shawl by Michelle Brown, and I decided to cast this on because I wanted to knit a speckled yarn with a semi-solid, and I had seen this pattern before on Ravelry, and I will link it in the show notes of course, and it uses a very highly variegated yarn with a semi-solid, and it looks fantastic. I really like that effect because variegated yarn can be a bit at times, but if you actually combine it with a semi-solid, it tones it down. So this is it. This is the graphite, which is graphite colorway, which is the dark grey, and it's sort of pastel-y with speckles, bright speckles of orange and pink, and that is called Peace, this speckledy one, and it's knitting up really nicely. So far away on the camera there, it kind of looks like it's plain colour, but it's not, it's speckled. I think that's the light kind of blowing it out too. Really enjoying it. This is MCN DK. And I have finished the shawl body, and again, because it's DK and a shawl, this really has taken no time to knit. I think maybe a couple of days to get to this far, which is crazy. Yeah, so I've knit the body of the shawl, and now I'm on to the final border, and I don't know if you can see, probably not, but there's like an eyelet pattern first, and then you just knit garter stitch, which will be the graphite, the dark grey graphite for the border, and that'll be about 2 to 3 inches, and then I'll be finished. The pattern does say, and I actually thought of this too, you can actually do a 3rd colour for the border down the bottom, but I was thinking of actually, this is like another yarn base, but this is the colour I was thinking of putting on the bottom of it. This is called Sorbet, but I decided that I think it would be a bit too busy, so yeah, I just left it with the 2 colours, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So that's A Great Divide Shawl by Michelle Brown, and yeah, that should be finished by the next time I speak to you, hopefully. The next shawl that I'm working on is Rhinelust by Melanie Berg, and this is a sock weight one. I'm knitting this out of, oh, is it top drawer sock? Pretty sure this is top drawer sock, skein top drawer sock. And oh, look at that, it's so lovely. This is you work it side to side shawl, and it's sort of, as you can see, it increases as you go along, and then you sort of get to a point where you're knitting, like you knit the textured pattern till you get to a certain point, and then it starts shaping down like that, so you're going back and forth knitting a longer piece of textured lace, and then you go into stockinette stitch. Again, terrible explanation, but basically it's this pattern and stockinette stitch, and it looks gorgeous. I absolutely love that texture. The colourway is called Whisper, and I liked it because textured patterns always look really nice with lightly variegated yarn, particularly speckled yarn because it doesn't take over the pattern. It just adds a little bit of extra colour, and that's why I chose that, and it's looking really, really nice. Haven't done a huge amount. I actually cast this on the same time I cast the Sibella jumper, and I sort of got in and worked on the Sibella jumper because I've been watching TV a lot when I knit at night, and I mean this is this has a chart that you can knit off. It also has written instructions as well, but I really like charts, and there is a little bit more going on in this, but I mean I can still watch TV and knit this at the same time, so it's not, you know, crazy difficult. But yes, I was kind of just wanting to zone out and knit, so that's why I knit on that. But I will be picking this up again soon. And Melanie Berg's got lovely patterns. I've got quite a few of her designs in my queue. But yeah, that's that. Now, to cast on. I have things ready to cast on as well. So, like I mentioned, there is a skein sweater knit along, and I am going to be knitting the Ariel pullover by Brandy Belton. That's it there. So it's really, really, it's a really nice pattern to use variegated yarn because it uses textured stitches which move the yarn, move the colours around, and also reverse stockinette stitch, which looks great with variegated yarns. So I have chosen to use skein again, MCN sock, and that's the colourway Chinatown. So it's variegated. It's not like crazy. Most of our colours, I kind of like to dye colours that aren't too intensely variegated, but just enough to kind of give, you know, hints of colour. So that's what I chose for this one. And yeah, it's sort of like a deep purple, and then that one's probably better. Splashes of blue and red. So I'll be casting this on as soon as I finish the Great Divide shawl, which should be very soon. What else? Oh, I'm also going to cast on, I got a new yarn base in, and it's a merino, 100% merino. This is from the mill that we go through, and they use a, this is a new yarn for them. They've used a chain ply. Oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. So it's almost like a I-cord kind of thing. I don't know really how to explain it. It's sort of like an I-cord, a knitted I-cord, and it's, yes, it's chain ply, so it's not twisted together. It's actually kind of linked together in a chain. Anyway, this is a DK weight yarn, and like I said, it's new for us. It's a extra fine merino, so it's very, very soft. It is machine washable, but you often find with really, really soft yarn, it can actually rub and peel, which is why the chain ply is so good for this, because it will prevent that from happening. It's not twisted together, it's chained together, so there's not as much friction, so it won't peel as much. Anyway, I haven't put it on the store yet. It's just very new. I've only, I had samples sent and I sample dyed them, and this is one of the samples I did. So I'm going to knit it up. I was very, very happy, so I ordered more in, and I am going to be putting it on the shop. So this is called Confetti, and it's a speckle dyed yarn, and I'm going to be knitting the Age of Brass and Steam shawl by Orange Flower Yarn. This has been in hot right now for years and years and years. It's a very popular pattern. Where is it? There it is. I'll show you. And it only takes, you can use more than one skein if you want to, but the original pattern only takes one skein of DK. There it is. So this is very simple stockinette stitch with the eyelets. And yes, I'm going to be casting that on. I'll probably be knitting that along with the aerial pullover, because it won't take very long. It's only one skein. And the other thing that I'm going to be knitting is the Tilted Triangle by Sibella. It's a shawl, and again this is going to be for the skein knit along, shawl knit along, which starts in a few weeks time. And I will show you a picture. Do I have one here? No. Hang on, I'll just get it up. It's a really lovely design. So it's a striped shawl, lots of colour. Come on. There, that's it there. So this striping bit here, I'm going to be using all of these colours. So this is skein MCN. This is the main colour that I'm going to be using, so the grey that's in that will be this grey, and then I'm going to be striping throughout it these colours. So I have Sorbet, Havana, Tiptoes, and Smokestack Lightning. It's actually more green, that's coming up really blue. And so you knit the main body, and then you pick up along the side and you do like this little extra section off the side. Now some people that I noticed in the project pages knitted this in a different colour. I'm going to see how this turns out with all these colours, and if it's a little bit dark, I'm going to either knit that side section in another colour. I'm going to knit it in either Havana or Sorbet, but I'm going to see what it looks like first. And my battery is just about to run out, so I better say goodbye. That was really quick. I had a few what's hot to go through, but I'll talk about them next week. They were, it was Interpretations Volume 3 with Jorge and Vera Valimaki, and that was their new collection that came out, but I'm going to link it still and talk about it in the next podcast. And there's also Bundled in Brioche by West Knits, which is a new collection of brioche patterns that he's brought out, and they're still coming out as we speak. But again, I'll talk about that in the next podcast, because I don't want my battery to go. Hope you're all well. It's so nice to speak to you guys, and I will be hopefully speaking to you again very soon, and I hope you're all well. And yeah, I promise it won't be that long, only a couple of weeks this time till I speak to you again. Okay, happy knitting and see you next time. Bye. That's my phone. Bye.